Bandits kill one adopt Federal University Kebbi student in midnight attack on hostel.
Hello, welcome to this channel. There is this video I came across and I would like us to watch it together. But before we do that, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and do that. Click on the subscribe button and turn on your notification bell to keep being part of this. Then as you watch, do not forget to react and also drop your comments in the comment section.
Bandits kill one adopt Federal University Kebbi student in midnight attack on hostel. Now, when you hear about bandits, because this is how media in Nigeria reports, when you hear about bandits, they are talking about the Fulani terrorists. These are the majority people who are kidnapping, killing, and terrorizing the villages and developing cities from around the country. Now, this happened this morning, and this article is from the Sahara Reporters reporting what happened in Kebbi State. If these terrorists are terrorizing politicians who brought them into this country, I don't think that a lot of people will be angry or a lot of people will be complaining about the terrorist attacks so far. But leaving the politicians who brought you into the country, who bought you gun, and killing innocent people is something that is not acceptable. Now, the article reads that the suspected bandits have attacked an off-campus student hostel of the Federal University of Benin Kebbi State, killing a herder and adopting a final year student in the early hours of Tuesday. Confirming the incident, the university's public relations officer, Mr. Jamilu Magaji, said the assailant stormed the Istijaba Villa hostel in Ongowa, Jeji, Kolga local government area at around 3 a.m., catching students off guard as they slept. 5 armed men approached the students, this is the report, who were sleeping outside their rooms. The attackers demanded money, but the students explained they had none, Mr. Magaji said. According to him, the confrontation escalated as the armed men physically assaulted the students. However, in the midst of the chaos, a nearby herder identified as Madam Sidi Husseini, who had been tending to his cattle, attempted to intervene but was shot dead by the gunmen. The news agency of Nigeria reports that the bandits subsequently adopted Augustine Madobia, a 400-level student in the Department of Economics. Meanwhile, another student, Cornelius Steve, a 200-level business administration undergraduate, narrowly escaped. In the wake of the incident, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Mohammed Zahia Omar, visited the scene alongside the Divisional Police Officer of Cargo Division and officials of the Department of the State Service, DSS. The safety and well-being of our students remain our utmost priority, Professor Zayan Omar assured during the address to the affected student. The university had also communicated the development to the governor of Kebbi State, Dr. Nasser Idris, through the office of the Secretary to the State Government and the Director of the Security Service Cabinet Office. Now, the article continues, but let me stop the article here. The issue here is that when you look at the person adopted is a Christian, the person that narrowly escaped is a Christian. Okay, so who were their target? Remember in the last video I made, I am not afraid to say this because most of these attacks, they target only Christians. So this is the issue, this is the reason why we only point at the issue of religion and Islamism, because these people will always go to places, target people who do not believe in Sharia. Okay, the two people now who were majorly affected in these campuses who are students are Christians. Okay, Augustine and the other of his mates, one narrowly escaped and one was adopted. Tell me. Anyway, I am not trying to bring a religious issue into my report, but I'm trying to talk reality out of issue that this is what is happening.
Tell ourselves the truth. What is going on in the Northwest is the Hausa Fulani fight. We don't mention it. That is the bottom line. The Fulani man feels anytime he comes to town, he's molested, he's killed. The Hausa man believes that the Fulani man using his headsmen enters his farm and destroys his crops. So it's been a long time, I'm sure you're aware, it's been a long time issue that had not been addressed. So it's a political issue. that should have been settled before. It had been allowed until it evolved to what it is today. Now, acts of criminality now came in. When acts of criminality came in, they felt that now, because the borders, I mentioned the issue of porous borders where weapons are moving in and out, and that's why they felt that yes, since their cows are being attacked, they too should be protected. And that's why you see major of them carrying arms. And before you know it, those that didn't have cows started into acts of armed robbery, small stealing, until it graduated to what it is now. Then the Boko Haram, with the hit they got in the Northeast, a lot of them moved. So it's a convergence of criminality that has come together to build up to what the acts of banditry. And the only way they make money is what? Kidnapping. When they kidnap, they make money. Now, the state governments, yes, in order to address that, I personally support civilian JTF. We use them effectively in the Northeast. But how did we apply them in the Northwest? What we did, the communities were the ones that identified youths that had character, that were reliable, that were honest. They brought out those names, gave the state government brought them in, profiled them with the police and the DSS, the State Security Service, and then they were now handed over to the military. They were trained with the mandate to protect their communities, not to go and attack any other person. Because one, the military, the armed forces, we are not many, we can't be everywhere. There is no country that have security forces everywhere. So their own intent is, the mandate for them is protect your community while the main forces are coming. So you delay them until that. And that's how we have used them. And frankly speaking, they've given us a lot of, because one, they know the areas very well. They know the area, they can tell you where IEDs are, which roads are clear and all this. And so we use that correct. But what we found out in the Northwest is a lot of this were not done. And the danger is, don't ever allow a training to be viewed, the perception of that using one ethnic group. Like I told you from beginning, the issues were Hausa, Fulani. Now, if you have civilian JTF that is only Hausa, what would the Fulani feel? He'll feel threatened. And that is what is causing the problem. If you sit down now to look at in Katsina State, how many have been killed so far? Because one, they operate in Northeast, they operate with the security forces. There is no operation they don't go together. So the security forces will give them that experience and the tactics to use. In this other area, they want to go alone. And you know that they've started also vendetta, starting to also settle personal scores. So they've derailed from the main objective of protecting their communities to settling personal. Some of them now have started settling land issues, marital issues, things that are not part of what they are supposed to be, because again, they were not controlled.
On the issue of the Northwest crisis, CDS, you say you didn't mention it. It's a delicate, it's a delicate thread or delicate line to discuss about the Hausa Fulani issue. If you ask me what is the difference between Hausa and Fulani, I'm an Hausa Fulani man. Most of the gentlemen you see here, they are Hausa Fulanis. Perhaps when we listen to the efforts of Katsina State tomorrow or thereabout, the deputy governor or with the commissioner for internal security will be able to tell us what is it really. But our moral values have decayed. From our roots, the traditional leadership system has been eroded. You can see back home what happened. The traditional rulers have been made to look, next to nothing, and they play significant role. While growing, I never gave them a space. I was never their fan, but when I grew into an adult, I got to realize that yes, they contribute a lot to the security of our local communities, which also speak to the issue of community policing.
So virtually almost everyone. And I also want to appreciate the fact that the herder-farmer clash laid the foundation of where we are today. Of course, there was that crisis before. But what is happening today is criminality, and the issue of control of resources has also set in. We have abundant mineral resource and most of the illegal mining activities that is going on in the country, particularly this northwest region. We have support from external factors over control of illegal mining activities, particularly in Zamfara and Katsina State. So much abundance of gold, lithium, name them all, we have them. And part of what we did to ensure that we support the security and try to deal with the criminality issue, we look at all that has been going on, inadequate resources, personnel and whatever on the part of the conventional security forces. And we have no option than to come up with a homegrown initiative or involve the locals to protect themselves. The recruitment process we went through was one that is supposed to be done even by the conventional security forces. Because no politician was involved in the recruitment process, we started with 8 frontline local governments, where we recruited 1,466 personnel. And the imams, the traditional rulers, and all the other opinion leaders were involved in vetting the people that we selected. And the training we gave them was a normal conventional training, because we have some retired military officers from the state who volunteered to train them along with the military training. So we deployed them back to their communities, and we have a joint operations. I want to admit that even if there is no synergy anywhere between the security forces and the locally trained vigilante or whatever we have it in Katsina State, we enjoy the support of all the security forces. I personally, as a deputy governor, I coordinated the entire security operations, which we conducted at least for a period of 1 month to allow our people to go to farms. The military, the DSS, the police, all of them were involved. And we are monitoring weekly the performance, and we made sure that there's absolute synergy and control by the security forces on what the operations that was carried out by the Security Watch Corps. So also, we didn't even stop at the connected approach. We also look at the non-connected approach. We realized the role this traditional institution can play into this. For the first time, we recruited 6,652 ward heads and put them on payroll in Katsina State, just to support the security architecture. Apart from those that we recruited and trained under the community watch corps, because virtually Katsina is more than 90% Muslim population, so we also had to involve the ulamas, the religious leaders. We have 2,550 mosques in Katsina State. We made sure that we recruited at least 3 people, the imam, the assistant imam, and the ladan. We put them on payroll, and they are also assisting us in preaching against this violence and other criminal activities. And they form part of the community security committees across the state. So these are some of the things that I feel that I should share with the Chief of Defense Staff and other people that happens to be around. And most of the other initiatives that we have done, I'll address it in my presentation tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Governor. Ladies and gentlemen, you'll agree with me. This has been a very exciting session, and I couldn't have asked for a more eloquent and elaborate panel. General Musa Sir and Professor Prinsloo. Could we put our hands together as a show of appreciation of a very, very well articulated panel discussion? I think we can break off now.
Thank you for watching this video. Please leave your contribution in the comment section, and also do well to subscribe. I'll see you in my next video.